All right, let's break down this featured battle on the main card that took place in the lightweight division between the number 14 ranked Faraz Ziam and the unranked Tom Nolan, jumping big into this division, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards, and two judges give it 30 to 27, one 29-28, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Tom Nolan, the man that is representing NTV Gym with, you guessed it, Quinlan Salkett, who already broke into the top 15 himself when he beat last month Beneil Dariush with first round TKO. And just like that, here he is at number 12. For SAM was 14. And once this next rankings come out this Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, he will be right there with his teammate Tom Nolan and Quinlan Salkett in the top 15 of the lightweight division, the toughest division in the UFC. Now let's look at these stats real quickly. Ziam, the favorite coming into this fight, had only 48 total strikes to his opponent's 65. He took Tom Nolan down 3 times, and Tom took Faraz down two. But if we look at the control time, Tom had 6 minutes and 47 seconds of control compared to Faraz's 5 minutes and 7 seconds, which mainly took place in the third round. And let me get the judges' scorecards correctly. It was 29 to 28, but if you ask me, I could have seen it 30-27 because the third round, all he did when he was down 2 rounds to nothing. Well, let's break down the highlights, shall we? Okay. So the first round starts, and here's an early successful takedown for Harasayam. Very nice, right? Also looks like Tom Nolan's going for a guillotine choke as well. And then he ends up getting back to his feet, is still trying to get Faraz off of his back. And as he does that, he grabs the left arm and then gets wrist control and then uses it to put it over his face so that he doesn't allow his opponent to engage more in his control in the game that he's trying to play. And then he gets back to his feet. And then this is what Tom Nolan does. Gets behind his back and then absolutely suplexes him down to the canvas. Gets all the way to the side control of the back and yes, convinces it to side control as he turns over and doesn't get his back taken. Then they get back to their feet by about 16 seconds in the round. Faraz charges in, and then at the last second, Tom clinches up and turns him towards the cage so that he doesn't land anything crazy towards the end of the round. Now we start the second round. Tom lands a nice leg kick, very good. Both of them land kicks at the same time. A nice knee, attempted cross hook that Faraz is throwing a mid punch. And then here's Tom Nolan clinching Faraz against the cage, trying to get a body lock over under, and then tries to use it to get a takedown. But Faraz, good on his part. He stuffs it and he allows himself to stay on his feet and then turns his opponent's back towards the cage in a clinch position. And in this moment in the fight, this is where Faraz sort of disengaged away and not played this clinching grappling game with his opponent, who Nolan was clearly better in. And then that's him splitting his hips, preventing his opponent from taking him down, then turning his body over. And then at some point, this is where Faraz does a spinning back elbow. And because of that, he ends up on his back. And Tom Nolan secures top position for the majority of the round after he gets the back when he turns over, then turns back to his towards his guard, towards his opponent, so that he gets half guard on top secured. Postures up, delivers a nice elbow on top. And then here's Verasam, and this is what made me like he's trying to go for a Kimura lock on his opponent. And instead of using it to help him get back to his feet, it allows his opponent to disregard the submission threat by his opponent and then just bring him back towards the cage in a more dominant position. And then here we get closer to the end of the second round. Nolan finally gets back, or Faraz finally gets back to his feet with Nolan still in his clinched game, and round ends, and that's 2 rounds to nothing. Tom Nolan over the number 14 ranked Faraz. So what does Ziam do with third round? He goes in for a takedown, right? And then all he's doing and then as he's on top, you can see that the more active fighter on bottom, in my opinion, is Tom Nolan delivering elbows. And that's why the striking numbers, even with it, having a round of majority of Ziam on top position, he didn't deliver nearly as much as strikes as his opponents while he was on bottom. And then towards the end of the round, he tries to pick up his opponent, gets the takedown again. And like we saw towards first round, great wrist control, not allowing Ziam to have any submission threats on Nolan's back. And then the fight is towards the end of the final seconds. Tom Nolan picks up the upset win, and he is going to be reminiscing of what I saw back in Faraz Ziam's debut fight all the way back in 2020 when he fought, or this is 2019 actually, when he fought on the Dustin Poirier Khabib Nurmagomedov UFC 242 card at the age of 22. This fight was like 7 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are. What do I notice the same things about this fight? Here's him getting taken down, and instead of learning the same mistakes that he could have implemented from this fight into last night's against Tom Nolan, he goes, look what he tries to do, ladies and gentlemen. He gets taken down easily, and with 30 seconds left on the fight, he is just not playing defense. He's not playing secure. He's allowing his opponent to get this position. Same mistakes he made against Tom Nolan. And then here we are in the third round, and then in the same position, his back is against the cage. He goes for the Kimura lock. Did you see the same pattern in the Tom Nolan fight? Tries to go for it, and what happens? His opponent escapes, uses it to get back in a dominant position, and then uses it again to secure his takedown and gets the hands locked behind his hips, and then drives forward and takes Ziam down. And as the fight plays out, it's just ground and pound. Ziam loses 30 to 27 in his UFC debut, just like he lost to Tom Nolan. And congratulations, Tom. You and Quinlan have the longest win streaks in the UFC lightweight division, with all the going up in weights and new featherweights that are joining the division, and everyone that's losing in the top of the division currently compared to you guys. This is an amazing stat. And now these two Australians are taking over the division, and we're all witnessing.